In 332 before Christ, the world knew few fortresses as formidable as Gaza. Its towering walls, perched high on strategic ground, seemed to mock any attacker foolish enough to approach. Most conquerors would have bypassed such a stronghold, but Alexander the Great, driven by an insatiable hunger for conquest, saw not an obstacle, but a challenge to overcome. He did the unthinkable. Alexander, defying conventional wisdom and the advice of his generals, ordered a full-scale siege. The stage was set for a conflict unlike any other. Within Gaza's walls, the defenders, led by their resolute commander, prepared for a fight to the death. They knew surrender was not an option for their proud city. Months of brutal warfare commenced. The plain surrounding Gaza became a maelstrom of activity as Alexander's vast army began constructing the machinery of siege warfare. Colossal siege engines, taller than the city's outer walls, were meticulously crafted. These were not mere tools of war, but towering symbols of Alexander's relentless will. From the ramparts, defenders rained down arrows, javelins, and rocks. Every inch of ground was contested, and every advance by the attackers was met with fierce resistance. The battering rams began their thunderous work, shaking the very foundations of Gaza. But the defenders were ready, their courage undiminished by the terrifying onslaught. Alexander himself, clad in his distinctive armor, was often at the forefront, inspiring his troops by sharing their immense risks and demonstrating unparalleled bravery in the chaos. Slowly, agonizingly, the colossal siege towers were wheeled into position. Their immense weight threatened to crush the earth beneath them, moving inexorably towards the battlements. The defenders fought back with desperate ferocity, employing every tactic to repel the attackers. Catapults hurled massive stones, and archers loosed volleys of arrows with deadly accuracy. The Gaza commander rallied his men, his voice a roar above the din of battle. He showed them that fear was a choice, and that pride was their greatest shield. Finally, a section of the wall began to crumble under the relentless assault of the siege engines. For the first time, a breach seemed possible. The defenders threw themselves into the gap, forming a desperate human shield. They fought with the ferocity of cornered animals, determined to hold the breach. Alexander, ever the strategist, adapted his approach. He ordered his men to construct a ramp over the debris, creating a new path for his army into the city. The battle raged inside the city. Streets, once peaceful, became scenes of close-quarters combat. Every building, every alleyway was a potential battlefield. The siege tested the limits of human endurance and courage. Days bled into weeks and weeks into months as the defenders refused to yield. The Gaza commander, though outnumbered and facing overwhelming odds, continued to inspire his remaining fighters. His bravery was a beacon in the darkening city. Alexander himself faced perilous moments. He was wounded, his army suffered heavy casualties, yet his determination to conquer Gaza only intensified with each setback. The siege reached its brutal climax. Alexander launched a final, concerted assault, pushing his men to their absolute limits in a desperate bid for victory. The inner defenses of Gaza, though strong, eventually succumbed to the sheer force and relentless pressure of Alexander's persistent army, paving the way for the city's fall. After months of grueling combat, the mighty fortress of Gaza finally fell. The defenders had fought valiantly, but Alexander's tactical genius and relentless drive proved insurmountable. The conquest of Gaza was not just a military victory, it was a testament to Alexander's audacious strategy and unwavering refusal to be deterred by seemingly impossible odds. The Siege of Gaza became a legendary chapter in military history. It demonstrated the power of strategic determination and the extreme cost of defying Alexander the Great. With Gaza secured, the path to Egypt lay open. Alexander's decisive victory at this formidable stronghold paved the way for his continued advance into the wealthy land. The defenders of Gaza, though defeated, earned the respect of their conqueror. Their stubborn resistance underscored the immense bravery of those fighting for their homeland. Gaza's high ground offered a commanding view, making it a vital strategic point. Securing it ensured Alexander's flank was protected as he moved deeper into new territories. The sheer scale of the siege engines used at Gaza pushed the boundaries of ancient military engineering. Their construction was a logistical marvel in itself. The prolonged siege inflicted a heavy human cost on both sides. The dust and blood of Gaza told a grim story of sacrifice and relentless combat. Gaza's defenders employed ingenious tactics to counter the siege engines, including the use of incendiaries, boiling liquids, and undermining siege towers with countermines. Alexander's ability to adapt and improvise under pressure was crucial. He didn't just command, he learned from every situation, ensuring his army's continued momentum. The siege weapons were the titans of this battle: battering rams, catapults, siege towers, and ballistae, all deployed with devastating effect against Gaza's defenses. Beyond the physical assault, the sheer presence and sustained effort of Alexander's army created immense psychological pressure on the besieged inhabitants of Gaza. The Gaza commander, a symbol of his city's defiance, fought until his very last breath, embodying the spirit of resistance against overwhelming odds and ultimate defeat. With Gaza conquered, its high ground became a new strategic asset for Alexander, allowing him to consolidate his control over the region and project further power. The massive siege machines, once tools of destruction, were now silent monuments to Alexander's determined campaign, their timbers bearing the scars of months of brutal conflict. The siege showcased the effectiveness of Macedonian combined arms tactics, integrating infantry, cavalry, and sophisticated siege engineering to overcome fortified positions. As order was restored, Alexander's forces began to secure the city. The sounds of battle gradually faded, replaced by the quiet hum of occupation. For Alexander, Gaza was not just a military target but a gateway. Its conquest was a necessary step in his grand vision of empire and Hellenistic expansion. The men who designed and operated the immense siege engines were as crucial to Alexander's victory as the soldiers who fought on the walls. The defenders' resilience, even in the face of overwhelming odds and mounting casualties, was a testament to their courage and deep-seated commitment to their city. After the battle, the victors began the grim task of securing the city and assessing the spoils of a hard-won conquest, a necessary, albeit somber, part of war. The successful, albeit costly, Siege of Gaza further cemented Alexander's reputation as an unstoppable military genius, a leader who would not be denied. The echoes of battle slowly receded, leaving a profound silence over Gaza. The city, once teeming with life and defiance, was now subdued under Macedonian rule. The strategies and counter-strategies employed at Gaza provided invaluable lessons for future military campaigns, influencing siege warfare for centuries to come. Alexander's sheer force of will to overcome Gaza's formidable defenses speaks volumes about his personality, a blend of strategic brilliance and unwavering resolve. Victory came at a high price. The sheer number of casualties on both sides underscored the brutal reality of ancient warfare and Alexander's uncompromising pursuit of his goals. The shift from Gaza's unbreachable defense to its eventual fall highlights the dynamic nature of siege warfare, where endurance and adaptability ultimately prevail. The Siege of Gaza became a crucial stepping stone in Alexander's legendary career, a testament to his audacity and the tactical innovations he employed to achieve his dominance. The tale of Gaza's defenders and their valiant stand against Alexander the Great continues to resonate, a story of courage against insurmountable odds. Alexander's personal involvement and leadership throughout the grueling siege were instrumental in maintaining morale and pushing his army towards the eventual, hard-fought victory. The fall of Gaza was more than just the capture of a city. It was a critical turning point that enabled Alexander's uninterrupted march towards the heart of Egypt. The siege combined sophisticated engineering prowess with raw, brutal combat, illustrating the multifaceted nature of warfare in Alexander's era and his approach to conquest. The conquest of Gaza opened up new horizons for Alexander, not just geographically, but also in terms of the resources and manpower he could now command. For many, Gaza represented a symbol of unyielding resistance. Its eventual fall served as a stark warning to others who might consider standing against Alexander. The decision to besiege Gaza wasn't impulsive. It was a calculated risk designed to maintain momentum and intimidate potential future adversaries in his path. The soldiers, engineers, and commanders who executed Alexander's plan at Gaza all played a role in this epic conquest, each contributing their skill and courage. Under Macedonian rule, Gaza would eventually begin to heal and be rebuilt, influenced by Hellenistic culture, its strategic importance redefined by its conqueror. The story of Gaza's siege is a profound illustration of unwavering human fortitude, both in the relentless pursuit of conquest and in the desperate defense of home. Alexander's ambition to conquer the known world demanded such relentless sieges, pushing boundaries and testing the limits of his armies and his own resolve. The Siege of Gaza, a brutal testament to ancient warfare, reminds us of the immense courage, sacrifice, and strategic genius that shaped history's greatest campaigns.